You're not equal to a man. They just love throwing that shit at you, man. Welcome to Agent Carter Review. We're talking the Blitzkrieg Button. That was this week. Now, this is a spoiler review. And, of course, I'm assuming you saw the episode. And I'm just discussing it, really, and my thoughts on it. Now, sorry, this is late. This is super late. This is already Sunday. And the reason being is I usually record these episodes and rewatch them that day, that night. But I forgot to record. And, yeah. Now I get it late because I had to wait for On-Demand to update it, and it takes forever. Now, honestly, the first half of this episode, I was pretty bored. I was like, it's just, just kind of looking at the phone a little bit sometimes and looking at the TV. I was a little bit bored. I mean, we start off with, of course, Peggy and Jarvis, trying to get their hands on more weaponry, like do a trade-off. And then Peggy kicking ass, of course. But it seemed like it didn't really that opening didn't really work for me. It was a little bit too. It didn't execute it really well. It was really kind of a little bit goofy, just a little bit goofy, and I just didn't really. I wasn't really buying into it. It really didn't get me engaged in the beginning of this episode. Now, as we move on from there, what's great to see Howard Stark back in the series. I mean, I think of course, he plays a pivotal role because Peggy's doing all this shit for Howard, and Howard comes back in the game, basically, and wants to know where his babies are, and there's one other little invention or thing he has, weaponry that Peggy must get. You know what? At this point, I think Howard makes more dangerous equipment than Tony. I mean, it just seems like that. It seems like Howard's shit is always super crazy weaponry that blows up half of the block or a block. I mean, Tony, all I can remember, I mean, if you want to consider, missiles, and then, of course, when he first gets introduced in Iron Man, I forgot what it was, but blew up all the mountains in back of him. But I think Howard comes up with some crazy stuff, man. Some crazy stuff. I think he's the first one to have a camera and a pen. We'll get to that in a little bit. So Howard comes back, and of course Peggy has to sneak him around her little apartment building. She almost gets caught by the chick who's running the facility. And then they discuss, basically, okay, Howard wants her to take some pictures of the lab work that's going on with this. He has some of his stuff and retrieve one of the spears that's in there. So while that's going on, we also have Detective Dooley going to somewhere to speak to this ex-Nazi general and trying to find a connection between, I believe, the typewriter and just overall what's going on. He wants to find the murder of one of his agents. And, of course, that leaves Jack, the one blonde guy, the one who's good at interrogating, in charge. And of course he is a no nonsense. He wants to find this guy, he wants to find Stark, and he wants to put this to bed. Excuse me. He wants to revenge that death of his fellow comrade. And then we have also I still can't remember his name, but the handicap guy, I'm just gonna call him the handicap guy until I remember his name. He's a good character. I really actually like his character. I really like he's sincere. He's trying to do his own thing. He's trying to be a good detective, and he does. He goes back to where the shooting or the docks were. He meets these two homeless gentlemen. He picks one up, starts, asking them questions, and then he starts interrogating them and tells about his war story, which I found still kind of boring. But I really do like this character. I think this character is. You need somebody like this in this type of show to have really kind of a heart. And then, I did really like the interaction between him and Jack, the interrogation, the one that's in charge. I really like those two interaction. I think they really do have great chemistry with each other. So I'm hopeful we get more episodes of these two really interacting with each other. Because all in all, that guy, the homeless guy, ended up being, a veteran. And basically, he doesn't want to hear a sappy story. He just wants a cheeseburger and alcohol. I probably would tell everything I know if somebody offered me a cheeseburger and some alcohol. Well, basically, yes, he says that it was a woman, a very dark-haired woman with a gentleman who was well dressed, and of course, there's Jarvis and Peggy, and that's all he pretty much knows. So that is going to lead into some great stuff because we do see the handicapped dude really looking at that picture and drawing the blonde haired chick that we saw in the beginning when Agent Carter was undercover. and he starts drawing the hair black. So I think he's going to put 2 and 2 together. I mean, either way, Peggy is going to be exposed at the end of the series. Now it's only an 8 episode series, and I think that's it. I think it was just like a one-time deal, which is kind of sad. I would like to see a season 2. I think this show, it does, has its charm, but like episodes like this, they do need to pick it up. But the second half really took me in. I mean, I really got engaged in the second half. So many freaking surprises. Excuse me. So many surprises, so many revelations. I mean, I was like, whoa, what? It was crazy. Especially with Howard lying to Peggy and Jarvis lying to Peggy. We knew Jarvis in this episode was hiding something because he kept on doing the ear thing and like wink, wink. But yeah, we find out when Peggy steals the spear from the scientist's office and switches it, and then she actually opens it, and we find this little container, this little bottle, and I was like, what is that? Is that like super soldier serum? Which I was close. It is Steve Rogers' blood. Now, what the hell would Howard Stark do with Steve Rogers' blood? And basically, he told after getting punched by Peggy, and he got knocked out. No, he didn't, but he got punched. He pretty much tells her, yeah, this blood could cure diseases, common cold. I mean, Steve, even though he's dead, he's still helping out, and you could tell Howard Stark really, really respects Steve. And you saw that after in Captain America: First Avenger, at the end of that he really did. You can see that facial expression, but. Yeah, Peggy is not having it. She's done, dealing with him, and she pretty much storms off. And she's pissed at Jarvis, by the way, as well. What's crazy about, though, what's a setup? I mean, there's this girl that's, I think we've seen her a couple episodes, that's pretty much by where Peggy's room is. And she's like this blonde, Howard. Actually, when he's hiding, he hides into her room, and she starts making out with her. Like, he's always going to that blonde's room. But we find out... Since the beginning, the henchman that we saw, that pretty much Peggy takes out, and then we find out that those henchmen basically was working for this crazy German. I think he's German guy with a 6-shooter. Nah, it was crazy gun that really just had. It was pretty much just crazy gun, an automatic. I think you said automatic. Pretty much. Well, anyway, automatic. And then, he's looking for Peggy, after killing his henchman. He's like, I'm pissed. I'm going to go look for Peggy. And then he stumbles upon that blonde, and that blonde pretty much knows what that gun is and takes him out. Takes him out like a spider monkey. That was a crazy scene. I was like, whoa, what the hell is going on? Is she a spy? She obviously is going to know what Agent Carter's doing. I mean, what was that all about? So we're going to find out more about her character. So that scene where she cracks that guy's neck was pretty... It's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome. And then, of course, after that, we see Howard Stark on the thing, and Jarvis is pissed at him. And it was a great cameo by Stan Lee. I thought that was awesome. And then we see Peggy, taking a spear and put Steve Rogers' blood, hiding it. And then we see, of course, that blonde chick, pretty much, who lives by her, playing with the gun, honestly, and has a dead body in her room. And then we see Dooley putting up the picture that he met with the general, and of course he learned some information. It really wasn't that big of a deal until we saw the typewriter start typing. And of course, remember the typewriter that guy who was mute was pretty much put together. It's this aka computer. So that was a great ending to see the typewriter start typing. I wonder what that's going to be all about. But I believe this. I'm just saying the second half was a lot better than the first half. The first half was really kind of boring. I was really kind of out of it. I was like, oh, okay, let's just get this going. It's going to be one of those episodes. But it really picked up at the second half throughout. I really like how that took me by surprise. That blonde chick really taking out that one dude. I mean, what is she? Is she a spy? Is she a villain? Is she here to help? What's this all about? So it was overall though an okay episode. It was an okay episode. A lot of twists, a lot of turns, a lot of things moving forward, a lot of setup that's going to be happening. We only have so much episodes left. So Agent Carter so far though is a very charming, it's one of the better shows on, I believe, was ABC, and a lot better than Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm sorry, I cannot get into Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and a lot freaking better than Gotham. I mean, Gotham, what the hell? What the hell, Gotham? But that's another time, another place. And I've been hearing that this Agent Carter is probably going to lead up to Avengers 2. So there's going to be a connection there. If there is, that's going to be really cool. It would be awesome to have a cameo at the very end, or at least some footage from the movie at the very end of this series of when Captain America and Peggy Carter, because maybe they meet in a dream sequence or illusion. I don't know. Something to deal with that. So overall, this episode was okay. I enjoyed the second half more than I did in the first half. Let's see next episode, see if it really picks it up, because I think you really need to have a strong start in the beginning of the episode to really keep your audience engaged. Like I said, a little bit goofy in the beginning, but really picked it up in the second half with all those twists, turns, and revelations. So thank you guys for listening. If you like this video, please press the like button. Please subscribe for more. I'm Dan the Man. Until when I actually record next week's episode of Agent Carter, you'll have it on time. So thank you for listening, and I'm out.